Hey, 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 welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. I am so happy you can join me here on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Tonight's guest is nothing, no other than my friend, lifelong friend, Lee Rocha. And he's trying to get on real quick. And once he gets on, once I see him in studio, I'll put him on the screen. This is definitely going to be a good show. He is got a lot of different things he wants to talk about. And Lee, if you can hear me, just give the restream access to your camera, and you should appear. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna wait until I'll talk to you. Meanwhile, so this is the second time he's on the podcast, and so Lee and I have talked over the years about different things, and one of the things I admire about him the most is, his cooking, his commitment to cooking a great dish, and everything that he does is appealing to me. It's definitely he's got my interest. Everything that he makes is stuff that I eat, and since I'm officially a fat guy, I eat almost anything. But Lee is a good cook, a chef. He's doing great things, and he went abroad. He went over to Cabo Verde, and so he has some experiences that he wants to share with us. And so we'll just wait until he gets on. Our families, Lee and my family, actually lived side by side or back to back, whatever you want to call it, in the same neighborhood for quite a few generations. So we were born to be friends. It's just that's how long it goes. Goes back at least to my grandmother, his mom, his grandmother, and it's just carried on. Um, the neighborhood isn't the same, not the same people, not the same family. So there's a there was a disconnect. Everybody goes in separate directions, and but we have kept in contact for the last 5 6 years. So I can't wait. Let me just text him right quick and see what's going on, and make sure that we're gonna get our guest on today. He's having technical problems. I hope his son's around. The so feel free. We have the capabilities now to for people to call in. You can call in, and oops, that's not it. That's my man Valdi. Let's see. Let me get up the number so you can call in. You can speak to yours truly or my guest. And that's the number right there, 774-326-0063. You know. So I'm gonna keep that off to the side here. So my different things, fentanyl, families against fentanyl. That's what it was, FAF. Um, so last night up late watching the Celtics. Oh my God, um, very tiring morning. That West Coast trip is going to kill me, but I do not like missing any games when it comes to this team. I really truly enjoy watching them. Um, even even when they get chaotic, or But what was Cardiac Kids? Where did that come from? The Red Sox, I believe. Well, anyway, so sometimes the Celtics are like that too. And what they do is they drive me crazy where they have an open lane, a layup, just go to the hoop. It's 2 points. And and they just don't do it. 2 points is 2 points, you know. So all right. There's the chef right there. I see you. All right. Without further ado, what's up, man?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you.
Nice. Okay. So I had to use my phone, man. I'm not sure what's going on with the laptop, but I hadn't used it in a while. So sorry to keep you waiting, and I'm very happy to be here. So thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Oh yes. Yeah. That's too bad. If I had known that, we could have got on a little earlier. Try to figure it
Yeah,
out.
that's my fault. I should have tested it out. I just assumed it was going to work like last time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. So we'll see. We got a comment here. Cardiac Kid is me. That's right. Hey Lee, I was talking about Cardiac Kids. You know, sometimes
Okay.
when watching the Celtics, I, I sometimes they drive me crazy. But I was kind of given.
Exactly.
We used to call the Red Sox that. Remember the dude, the reliever. He used to keep his hand dangling. You know, that's when they were calling Red Sox the Cardiac Kids because you never knew, man. They just
When
helter
it,
skelter.
was that 2004 or before
I
then?
think I think it was. Hmm, I can't remember.
We'll have to ask Michael Consatio. He'll know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. All right, Butch Texera's on the line. Another Bay Village kid.
He's
What's
my
up,
man.
Butchie?
Hey, Butch, what's happening? I
That's
know I
it.
feel this is great, man. It feels so good to be on here and see everybody that pops in and out. Sometimes they all comment on Facebook. Joey, everybody's here.
Yeah, Joey Gonzalez. Yeah.
How you doing, man?
So Joey
So yeah,
Gonzalez, my
and I
man.
promised everybody I give a shout out to Monty's Park,
That's
um,
right.
Michael Consatio. I see you doing your thing out there. I saw a lot of stuff on you recently. I don't say a lot all the time. I'm kind of, even though I'm retired, I don't know where the time goes because I got less time now than I had before. I think you might know that too.
Yes.
But I'm going to
Nate
give a
Victor.
shout out to Michael and everything he's done, and everyone else for that matter. We're all doing our thing, and I appreciate social media in that aspect. Sometimes it's a pain in the neck, but for the most part, we can stay connected because I'm here in Connecticut again. So I think we're blessed that we have something like this still.
Yes. Yes. Um, Shout out to Nate Victor. Thank you for joining me as you do every single week. I appreciate you. You said Butchie, Joey Gonzalez. So it's like the whole neighborhood right on this podcast. It's good, good,
I
good,
know,
good.
right? There you
Nice. Um,
go.
so as most people know, well, even the people that are on for the first time on a Really Charlie podcast, I want to let you know that Lee is a fabulous cook, chef, as I call him. Whether he earned that title or not, I think he earned it. You know, he's a great cook, fabulous dishes. I enjoy watching you do your thing, whether it's here on Facebook Live or on YouTube, and keep up the good work. But I wanna talk to you about um. Let's start off real quick with your visit to Cabo Verde.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, wait. Let me backtrack a little bit. Let's just talk about your interests, right? What started you with cooking? Was it home, away, whatever? Who inspired you to keep on to start cooking and then perfecting it? I think you have perfected your craft. It is your craft.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny because before I got into the trades and going to school and dabbling in the SMU for a while, and once I left Monty's Park, I went to. Well, prior to that, I would have to say the inspiration came from my parents. My father was always cooking. My mother was always cooking. They cooked for everybody in the whole neighborhood. probably half the Bay Village and everybody else who buddy Tom and all my brothers and sisters. But it was like that. How you went house to house back then. And I think really what did it for me was when my mother went back to school, once her and my father separated, I think, I don't know if I was 13 or 14, she went back, she got her GED and went right to SMU, and then she became a teacher. So during that process, everyone else, my brothers and sisters, were all out doing their thing, going to school, college. And so, I couldn't just say, hey, man, who's cooking today? One of those things. So we all had to do our thing. And if you were home, you were expected to do your pot and cooking. So that's when I started making Jag, maybe, I don't know, 13, 14. My mother always showed me my father. Sometimes my father would go down to Pee Wee's restaurant when he would be coming off of shipping out. And he'd go in there and help Pee Wee out and them and making kachupin, me and Michael and Donnie, the rest of the show used to hang out together. So I'd go down there sometimes, and I wasn't the best short order cook, but I still could. Already at that age, I was doing soups and stuff, and so that just inspired me. And then from there, I worked in Newport at the as a cleaner at the Black Pearl and Shot House, and they started showing me stuff in the kitchen, and that was really getting my interest up. And then after that, man, I just went to school in Boston for HVAC electrical. And I didn't bother with the cooking. I just was like, I don't think there's going to be any money in it, that kind of thing when I was young. And I just kind of stayed away from it until I came out here, and I was like, unless you're going to Norwich, you ain't getting no Cape Verdean food here in Connecticut. Like, like in your New Bedford, Fall River, or any of that. So that's what did it for me. And then I just stayed with it. And then I started trying to, once you got YouTube University, like I call it, and everything else out there, you got all your tools. I mean, to me, I kind of feel like I did go to, when people are like, oh, man, you must have went to school. I hear it a lot from people that think I went to school when they eat my foods. Oh, I can't, I'm not a chef like you. I'm like, not a chef. I said, I just zeroed in on something that, I'm out here. I don't see a whole lot of people like I did growing up in New Bedford. So it's one of those deals where, hey, well, what are you going to do? Do something constructive. And I just started getting into, like, right now, I go through phases. My new phase right now was making all kinds of breads. And I always try to make stuff that I'm weak at making. So I started trying to perfect it and learn the science behind it, and then move on to the next thing for fun, usually.
Yeah, it's it's a good thing. It's a good thing for like knowing I never had a problem cooking for myself, right? And I think that's the greatest thing about a man that can cook. So many men in my lifetime I've seen that couldn't make anything whatsoever, and that's a shame because it's just you need it. You got to survive. You can't keep on depending on people. And guess what? If you learn how to cook, you can make it exactly like you want it,
Hmm.
and that's one thing that I liked about um is learning how to cook is that I can go in the kitchen and make what I had to and eat what I wanted. It was just something that
Hold on a second.
yep.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I'm on the Charlie Perry show. Knock it off.
Hey, I'm telling Pauline you're cheating on her. That's funny. The
Right, right, right.
It's
And
funny. Alexa goes off, right?
oh
And
yeah, just
how many times,
randomly.
like if you have an iPhone, Siri goes off, right?
Right. Alexa
And
should start learning to teach me how to speak Creole. And
it's
that was another reason, a biggie for me, why I started doing my Creole style cooking even more. Because I'm like, man, I'm just not picking up the language. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So for me, I said, I don't want to lose the culture. This is something I'm pretty good at. Let me just stay with it. And um, so yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at now. With that, I'm just trying to perfect myself in Creole cooking right now. But I do cook just about everything. Every culture I try to learn that I find interesting in something that I like. Generally, I'll try to make it.
the I I love Chinese food, right? I
Yeah, me
really do.
too.
I
I
love it.
can't do that well.
Yeah, it's a tough craft, man. It's you really got to be in the kitchen to craft to make it perfect like it is.
Right,
Um,
right.
so
You gotta
but
have high heat. High heat woks, fast cooking is what Chinese cooking's all about. Because I guess the price of gas and everything, I did some studying on it and why I couldn't do it right. Whether you have a wok or not, the bottom line is you have to have high heat burners and set up for it. That's the real key because they like to cook fast because they don't have. I think propane or gas must be a problem for them as far as maybe cost and everything else. So everything that's how they got into that from when I was reading some of the history about it not that long ago, the last couple of months, and I said, okay, so that's where they get that fast cooking and the little tricks that go with it.
yeah,
That's not for me though. I've tried. I went out once years ago, about 20 years ago. I said, I don't know. I'm gonna be. My name is Lee. I'm gonna be an Asian Chinese cook too. Cabo Verde. Well, I spent about $150. I remember Pauline saying, "Look at all the stuff in the cabinet that you don't know how to use."
uh-huh. It's
So
true.
that stopped that. So takeout. It's just
Um,
is what it is.
I would I don't want to pass this up, but I want to say hello to Miss Bernice Livermento, one of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
historians of our community and all her
exactly.
stories. I wish she would come on the podcast and just share so many stories. It's just fascinating woman and truly um
I talked to
truly
her
a
a lot.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else someone has a message for you that you failed fried rice. Yeah.
Couldn't have been
Oh
that
my
bad.
god.
Can't be that bad. We're still married.
Yeah, that's right, you know. Somebody ate it. It definitely didn't get thrown away. Um the so we you start cooking, you kind of perfecting it, but I wanna before we go to Cabo Verde, I keep pushing that back, but I want to talk about some music. Let's talk about some music with you, man. That was another craft and things that you like doing. Um
Singing.
and did let me I think I asked you on the first show, but did you happen to do any duets or group with Mr. Andrews from Fairhaven? Uh, Ronnie
Say, I
Brown?
mean, so a lot of people don't know. So growing up, I had a band. I'm not sure if you know Little Lee and the Nightlighters. A lot of Boo Boo Tavares used to be my and Alan Montreal used to sing with me. Boo Boo Tavares was my guitar player. God rest his soul. Benjamin Wallace, he was on bass or keyboard. Bobby Cruz used to live right next to him. He was a drummer. Dan Alves used to help manage it. And Victor Tavares used to coach me and was the teacher for me singing. And I was singing, but I don't remember all of them. Um, I don't know, maybe a guy named Skeeter. Paul Paris's brother.
Oh,
Um,
Johnny? No,
yeah. I always forget his name because I was so young. Because I was like 10, 11, 12, and they
they
used to
would
call.
be the motions.
Yeah, yeah, he was in
Kevin
Crystal
Gomes.
Motion. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yep.
um, I think he was. Victor told me he was his first student, and I was his first two students. We always talk, Victor and I, a lot, and yeah. So I had the band Little in the night, and we were really doing real well. We used to practice up at Onboard on County Street, and Dan Elms would come in there, and he used to, I'll tell you what, he knew some choreography stuff that he used to teach us and stuff like that. Well, for me and Alan and stuff, but yeah, they kind of minded the band. We started to get really good. And I think back then, man, our parents just were a little freaked out from it, but probably especially me. I mean, I was at the student like Bobby Cruz was. I literally was, you could have told me back then, I said, man, this is fun, like Michael Jackson and Donny Osmond. I was kind of doing those songs too. And well, my mother didn't care. It was a flunking out of school. So that was it for me.
Mm, mm,
Well, by the time I was hitting junior high school, I didn't really care about school. I just felt that I wanted to sing.
yeah.
So that being said, that's what got me into DJing a little bit later, like with Wayne Roderick's in New Bedford and geez, Blue Jay and a
Yep.
number of other couple of people that I DJ'd back then. Um, and I'm, of course, I continued to sing. And then when I came out here um, to Connecticut, I sang at my wedding. I sang to my wife, Always and Forever by Heat Wave, with a
Very
Cape
nice.
Verdean band that didn't know the song. So that was kind of something. But I wish there was some film. I don't even know how I made it through the song. Pauline said everybody was crying. It was unbelievable. And I'm thinking, I don't know if they were crying at me or they were crying like laughing. I don't know what was going. But so then I came out here and then years later she told me, she goes, you don't sing anymore. And then I did a couple of recordings. I did a recording down in Florida. I redid I just called Say You Love Me for my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really big hit. A lot of people were down there watching me do that in that studio. And I got that recorded. I'm going to have a number of recordings that are going to be put out that people don't know that I did.
Yeah.
I also sang with the Cats. The people, the Cats play in New York City. I sang with that orchestra on a
Very nice.
cruise ship in a contest, and I came in second. Sang in Acapulco, sang a
Mm.
number of places, and then I became Southeastern Connecticut's male vocalist of the year. I forget year that was, maybe 92 or 93. Troy Gomes and Michael Gonsalves came to see that when I had won that contest. So yeah, that was that, and then I kind of got back into DJing, and I still have the DJ business.
Good.
My voice
Good.
isn't the same. I've had some issues with allergies, but I don't know. I might try to do something again. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. The I just want to give a little bit more on your background, for people that are just, seeing the podcast for the first time, and also some of your friends and family that, not family but friends that didn't know about it, so just
No,
wanted to
yeah,
get
yeah.
that just wanted to get that plug out there, and go from there. Um we've been talking about a lot of things, this over this past winter, and
Hmm.
very exciting. Some of the things that you talked about, I'm very excited about it. I promise you I will be visiting you this summer, as we talked about.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And you, this past few months, you went on and went over to Cabo Verde, and let's talk about that, man.
Yeah. Well, it was. Well, you mean how it came about? What made me go? Or just the trip in itself? Just a little everything. I
Um,
mean, to touch
yeah,
base.
everything. I mean,
Okay.
we get
I
time.
probably wasn't. It wasn't hot on my mind to go until. I mean, definitely when I was younger, it wasn't. And then,
Mhm.
my mother and father never made it there. They were born here, so it was their parents. But my wife has been traveling back and forth there. If this was her third trip, maybe
Wow.
second trip. Anyways, I'm losing track already. So, but at any rate, she's doing a humanitarian work. She started with my other cousin, Patricia Andrade, who's a doctor. My wife's a medical, what you call it? She's director of radiology out at Quinnipiac. She's
Yeah, I
done
gotta
her
get
thing
her
for
around
years.
here too.
Straight went to Children's Hospital Boston. You'll see. I guess you'll be having her on this show soon. She wanted to tie up some loose ends, but yeah, we traveled. And let me see what I have here with the CVAMS, Cape Verdean American Medical Society, to the hospital Agostino Neto in Playa Santiago as part of the fourth scientific cultural mission. That's one thing that she
Mhm.
did, and that was the first visit in April, and then she had to go to Sal Vicente, and at that point is when because I was in Florida on her previous trip, we started toying with the idea that I was going to go along, and I'm glad I did. It was a great experience. And we were supposed to connect, but I ended up getting sick 2 days, and I found out a lot that just thinking that if we had done some kind of show while I was out there, my idea was to get in a couple of different people's kitchens and talk to them about how they do things and some of the culture there.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be a lot tougher than I thought because if you tell them you're going to be making kachupa, it's not like they got Stop and Shop around the block. They're going
Yeah.
to have everything for it right there. It's coming down to resources and stuff like that. Um, so and the timing of it and with our own schedule, it was tough because I was planning on 2 days that I had open to get it done, and those are the 2 days that weren't my best days. Um, but the trip, man, it was amazing. It really
The,
was.
the I right now I'm trying to share this to your page. I want to put it on your profile on Facebook,
Like,
so so
how come
your friends could see it also.
I appreciate it. How come I can't see the people that are in the room chatting?
The hmm, See, it's hard for me on the. Whoops, just lost you. Just lost you, Lee. He'll come back on, folks. Just bear with us. And here he is.
I'm back in.
Yeah, the I don't I don't know too much about the other side. That is the guest side and what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just
Um,
curious.
yeah. Um, so I just shared it on your page. For some reason it's just friends of ours. So I got to
Okay.
try to make that public. See if I can get our YouTube channel on your page, so that way they can see it and comment through YouTube. The
Okay.
So you get to Cape Verde now. There's Tell me the difference, as far as setup time. What how they were setting. You and I talked about it and how they basically set up. You know how cachupa is made on the island on the islands.
Well, that was a different experience for me. They like to keep the meats and everything else, at least on San Vicente,
Yep.
separate. In San Antone, it's not like everything was, mixed in. Maybe in San Vicente, some places, but some of the houses and stuff that I stood in San Antone, definitely they do them differently. They bring them out like it's like in a big bowl. You know what I
Mm,
mean? You're gonna get here's your meats. You might have your potatoes, and I'm like, okay. So it was different in that regard, and yeah. So when I was there, one of the things, and even before then, Pauline had an aunt, and the whole family from Cape Verde Islands was coming to my house years ago here, and she wanted me to cook a big Cape Verdean dinner, and I was petrified. I was like,
yeah.
oh, man. I said, I don't know, man. I says, I gotta try to cook for these people. These supposed to be some great cooks that were coming over. I heard, but they loved it, and it felt good after that. And I definitely felt good when they went to Cape Verde. So that was a good experience. Really, really, Linda. And I'll tell you one thing. Single source foods, just the way you eat is just so much healthier. We have so much
True.
temptation here, and so yeah, they do the kachupa differently than we do. But again, I don't have a. That was just a small sample I got to. I had one restaurant that I did go to, put a few things in it. It still was different. It was just a different style of kachupa than I'm used to growing up in New Bedford.
Yeah. It's I found um I went to a couple of different families and especially out of this area, but went to different Cape Verdean communities outside this county, and I seen the difference in how it was made. Um, but there's one thing that Mr. Alfred Gomes, right, Freddie.
Oh yeah,
I remember Freddie, at the end of his life, he was in the Bay Village, and so they made his cachupa vegetarian style, and they made just because doctor's orders and certain things he couldn't eat,
right.
and it was awesome. But isn't that's the beautiful thing about cachupa? Um, and Joey Gonzalez on the screen. You know, he's out there. He's a Munchupa. There's that old battle, Kachupa or Munchupa. What is it? You know, and nothing's. You know, it is what it is. It's there's no wrong answer, right? There's no wrong answer because you're gonna call it what it is, and that's
Hmm.
it. And you definitely know. We all know what it means. You know, we
But
all
you got
know that.
that right.
Yeah. So what is the other outside Kachupa? What is that other main or that go-to dish that you like making?
I mean, Cape Verde or just some of the
Cape
go-to dishes?
Verdean, Cape Verdean. We'll
Well,
get
I
to the
guess
other ones.
I mean, galinha gizzard, the
Mhm.
chicken stew with curry and curry chicken and stuff. Geez, of course, you can say Portuguese kill. So I make bacalhau, but there's a couple of variations. Cape Verdeans may make bacalhau a little bit different than the Portuguese do. They tend to put tomatoes in theirs, but I don't know. I think that might be also a Brava style, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I make all that. I'm trying to. I wanted to today. I had thought, oh, maybe I was going to go ahead and if I bought that thing on TikTok. There's a little camera that turns, and I
Yeah.
bought it. I haven't set it up yet. I did bring it to Cape Verde. I wanted to try it today, and I said, "No, I don't want to try to set it up today. Now I need to get it ready though,
Mhm.
because it'll track me, and I can do more and have one fixed and one tracking me." Um, but I wanted to do couscous
Yeah.
again. It was something I thought I would do today. Um, I learned some secrets about couscous that like I was telling you when we last talked, I had couscous that was almost it's this myth that, and I thought the same thing. I wasn't a big fan of couscous when it's younger. You always felt you gotta eat it right away, else you're gonna be choking on it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? That's not the case. Not one of the couscous I had one, maybe the Sal Vicente, Pauline's uncle's house. Somebody made it for them. They brought it in, and they brought it in for us, and it was absolutely so moist. And the crowd was like, "How do they pull this off?" I mean, you
Mhm.
could have heated it the next day, and it was just like moist, like a sponge moist. It was
Yeah.
that nice.
That's
So,
great.
so I've been trying to get my thing going with that, and I got some tips on that as well that I'll be letting people know as I perfect them. But one of the keys I'll just say right now is one of the big keys for doing the couscous is this definitely it's all about the consistency because it's really not much more than corn flour, the water, your sugar, whatever, and your dry ingredients. But it's about that like that sand. You see that like the kids sand, but
Yeah.
if you rub it, sometimes it's colored. You squeeze it, it stays together, but then you can crumble it apart. That's how the couscous texture really should be. You should be able to almost palm it, make it, and but also break it apart.
Yeah.
And after that step, once with the water and stuff, once you get that ratio right, a lot of people, some people, you should, and I believe you should screen it after that and sift it through a screen into the pot. But that's not all. The other thing is I found out that a lot of them out there, you're mixing it with mandioca.
Mhm.
Um, out there, they were telling me, and this is from like Lee's girl who's Cape Verdean. She's the doctor, Dr. Spencer. She says, but she was here. She's here now, just not with me today, but she's also here for a few months. And I made it with her. She says, "Oh, you don't have any mandioca?" She goes, "You just put in a couple of tablespoons of instant mash."
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. Yep.
You had?
Yeah.
I had
Well,
never heard of that.
not hearing it in with that recipe, but I've heard that it's been used with different things. And so but that's nice. That's real nice.
And that supposedly acts as like she was trying to, tell me that acts as like a bonding agent, like a
Yeah.
glue to help
Mhm.
keep it together from crumbling. So,
Yeah.
but instead, one of the things you can do is like if you get tapioca flour, you can buy tapioca flour in your flour section. Tapioca is really mandioca, cassava, same
Mhm.
thing. But you could also buy cassava flour and do a 50-50. You can make a whole um, you know, again, I use the tapioca flour, but I have both. So you can just make a mandioca base of what you call it, couscous. You can do it
Yeah.
that way, and I've done that before. So yeah, I'm still working on trying to get it really nice and moist still.
Good, good. Michael Consatio says, awesome having Lee on the show. Lee's a great chef, good friend, and a dynamite person. I
Yeah,
agree.
he's the best. I appreciate Michael. I told him, I said, we're going to get you. Like I said, I'm so proud of everything he's doing, and everybody is. So, again, um, it's great to see all my friends on here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And
The we they just recently, I mean, years ago I was doing the Cachupa cook off, but just recently they had the first annual
at the vets,
cook- yeah, and I was glad that someone was taking that on and doing it, and
they
it
used to
was,
do it years ago.
yeah, and it's good that they, that especially, with Isaiah Holtman, Adam Clark, a few others. I'm definitely gonna miss some names, but I'm
Yeah, yeah.
glad that they came and then they got it together. They organized it, and especially doing it there at the vets.
Hmm.
Very, very important to do things like that. Keep the culture going, keep things going. And one of the other things I like is they do like a pit cook off, when and they're cooking on the grills and they're doing things, and they have their annual rib contest, and it's real great. So, but this is one thing that I like about it is that they kind of broaden a little bit. They kind of go into another food, and so I hope they maintain it because their pit competition with the ribs and all that and the briskets and all that has been going on for a little while. So now if
Yeah,
they can,
it's the first time I'm hearing it, but
yeah,
I'm away,
so
so
yeah, I'll have to let you know when they do it. And especially it's I'm glad that they're doing it, and the one thing about Cachupa, it's they're doing it in the winter time, which is, that's even better. They're gonna everyone's kind of stale in the winter. We're not doing too much with each other. There's not too many things that we are doing in the Northeast. Um, and so when people can get together, and they had a good crowd from what I heard, so I'm glad, and shout out to them.
well, that's nice. Yeah, it is a good thing to do. My brother Buddy was in that when the vets had a contest. Same thing, Kachuba contest. I don't know. It had to have been before my mother passed in 2005. So I think it was like 2003 or something. My son Lee had went with him because I think Buddy came in second or third. And but they used to run that a long time ago.
Yeah, I like
I'm
when
glad, I'm glad they're doing it again.
yeah, that whole crew. I like when they were part of um Men Who Cook, and how that was so big in this area, and just a great annual thing. And it's too bad that, it came to an end, and it came to the end just because of the officials in the area. They just kind of put a kibosh to it, really. And
That's too bad.
but that's another great program that was going. I mean, they raised a lot of money, and it wasn't just something that that it was a fly by night thing. It was well organized, and they did a great job. So
Nice. Do you still see Michael Costanzo on there? Is he still there?
he's on. I know he's listening. He's in the comment section, but go ahead. I know if you have a message,
No,
just
because no, he knows. We spoke recently, and I told him, I said, because he's always teasing me, saying he wasn't invited to my house, get Kachupa. And I said, well, first off, he's always invited to my house. He could come. But, we chat. Him and then Rick Brito, sometimes they've shot up to New York. They always make sure they call me when they're passing by. But I told him, I said, I'm bringing the RV, my RV, because I bought a big 35 for them. And I told Michael, I said, you know what, I'm gonna come down and do a show out of my RV, one of my cooking shows. I told him your job will, and that's another thing. I told you I was gonna have a lot of content coming up, which I do. I just don't have a camera person. So,
yeah.
and my son thought he could do it, he's just so busy. So I'm going to try to get a camera person because I got too many things that I'm cooking that I want to put out there. But I told Michael, I said, why don't I come down being retired in my, um, I get down there, bring my RV. I told him we talked about this over a month ago, and I says I'm gonna come down, hang with him, probably pull up in front of Hazelwood Beach or down by the park or something. I'm just gonna make Munchupa. It's gonna be Munchupa with Lee and Michael Casaccio, and
Hmm.
we're just gonna videotape that show.
Yeah, it's especially that new camera, the camera holder you have, that's gonna work great with it.
Yeah, yeah,
And if
that'll be cool.
you need, you know, if you need anything when you are here, just give me a call. I can definitely, I have other cameras here, and so there's that if you do it, I'll make sure that I'm available to help out, and but that would be great. That would be
Yeah,
great.
it'd be fun. I'd like to do something like that for fun. Like I told you before, once I really get my thing on my content up, one of the things I want to do and I had even talked about before, God rest his soul, Wayne Reese, um, he had asked me to do stuff with him and we never got a chance to do it. We've talked and, but I wanted to, just visit different people's houses, whether just like I was going to do in Cape Verde. It's
Hmm.
not about being necessarily cooking. I'm also an entertainer. I kind of wanted to question and ask some people. And then, like I mentioned to you, I thought that might be a cool thing for you and I to do. Someone invites me in, we do a little cooking together, or just a little talk
Yeah,
with them as we go live in a different location. I just thought that would be kind of cool. There's no one come to theirs, so why not do something like that?
yeah. I definitely could arrange and get a spot where there's a kitchen where you can do that, and
Right.
no distractions, and definitely do a great show. Um,
Exactly. That's what I was supposed to do in Cape Verde. I had a kitchen all lined up in a hotel. They were going to let me use the whole kitchen there, and it just didn't work out. So next time, though,
yeah,
we're supposed to
yeah,
go in July, but we're postponing it. We're thinking about getting out there during Carnival. We'll be
good.
back though within a year out in Cape Verde for sure. She's got a lot of work still to do, and soon because she's going to be getting a hold of you so you could have my wife because on your show as well because
Yeah, I can't wait
because
for that.
right now, man, I'll tell you right straight up, she is definitely my hero. She
Yeah,
and all of you guys, I know. So, she's doing outstanding work in there. Her and my cousin and everything, and it's just really great to see how well perceived in her students in the when the team comes in how they react. I mean, I met the director of the whole hospital. They took us out to dinner and everything and gave me like red carpet treatment. And like I told you, when I first went there, I wasn't feeling too good the first few days. It took me almost 24 hours to get there. We had engine problems on the plane. Was the plane going to make it? We had to make an emergency landing. So after about a day or two, I was like, man, I'm ready to just go back home. I had to be
hmm,
honest, right? And Pauline told me, she goes, you were acting kind of ornery. And I told you, I said, once I went to one house or the second house that I went to, and I'm like, wait a minute. Once I found it, because I didn't know who was in the family. And they say
yeah,
about
yeah,
12 people in there, man. I'm like, all packed in a room. And I'm like, they here just show that more better. It reminded me of the 60s,
yep.
how they were. And it didn't matter what family I went to or what they had and what they didn't have, because most of them didn't have. It was just an incredible feeling of how welcoming. And it just reminded me of how I could just go to any house, door to door, whether it be your mother's house and everything, and then come on in, Lee, and it's just it was a great feeling, and
Yeah,
I definitely miss that feeling, and I definitely got to get back there.
yeah. There's something special about the Cape Verdean people.
And I
Um,
found out through them that they're following me. A lot of them through word of mouth, or maybe Lee's girlfriend or her
mhm.
cousins, and I'm finding. And I got other people now from Cape Verde Islands that are just that I don't know, and they're requesting to be friends with me, and I'm signing. I'm pretty sure it's because they hear I'm cooking, because they comment later. And I just think it feels good knowing that I'm doing that, and even they're following me. Because
Yeah.
Barbara, Lee's girlfriend, she tells us she's about 35 maybe, and she says all her friends think, she goes, they're so proud of you, all the ones in Providence and this and this. Now I
Mhm.
don't even know these people, and I said, wow, that's thanks for telling me that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, kind of hits you in the heart.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Um, Lee, I would just want to take a little break here. I want to mention about this show here
Yep.
involving a few of our friends here.
Oh,
It's
cool.
the it's the R&B Winter Thaw, Friday, April 11th at the Vault, downtown New Bedford, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Doors open at like 6:15. Featuring three outstanding singing performers for their first time in New Bedford. That would be Shaquan Davis, Kim Tavares, Kevin Robertson, and the tickets are $25, table of four. Um, Also, just a seat only would be $20. Tickets are available at Celia's Boutique, 111 William Street, New Bedford, Mass. Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can also get tickets at the Vault Wednesday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. There'll be a 50-50 raffle, which will include a round trip ticket to Martha's Vineyard and also honoring Michael Consaccio for decades of community service. So, yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. So I want to mention that, anything involving Carl Pies
Hmm. He was
is
in my
one of
wedding.
my guy. Yeah, he's a good man of his. He does a great thing with his craft, MCing, radio host. He has that radio voice, as we all know. He's just a good dude.
Hmm.
Um,
Um,
Denise Rivera says I agree about the couscous.
yeah, I was
And
just reading that. Wasn't I'm not sure what she means on that, but
yeah,
on another
probably
note,
just
the
probably
Patriots just signed Stephon Diggs. I saw that
yeah.
pop up. Saw
I
it pop up
seen
while you it just popped up on my phone while you were talking.
yeah. I kind of thought that was gonna happen. I'm I'm all for it. I wouldn't. I mean, I was telling everybody I truly wouldn't mind that. Stephon Diggs, he'll come later on in that first quarter of the season. Um, and then Amari Cooper's still out there. There's Lockett from Seattle. I don't mind picking up those guys, whether it's 1 to 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. You don't need any big contracts. You just need somebody to kind of bridge it. Where
For the young guys coming in line.
yeah, and Drake May could come and make things a little bit more comfortable.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely. I mean, the cliche is in Bill we trust. With Drabel, I do trust him. I did. There's a football mind. That dude
Yeah, I do
definitely
too.
knows he's gonna be okay. And he can make an adjustment. He's definitely knew what he was doing. Look, they just let Ellis go to the Raiders for a second just to see what he can get, and then they matched him. But that was a smart move on their end, right?
Mm.
Don't overpay him. Just see what someone else is going to give him, and then offer it to him. When they did that. So the defense is definitely going to be ready to play against everybody that they're going to face. We just got to kind of figure out if this offense can keep up. Um,
Yeah, I think so. Just the fact that you got a offensive minded coordinator who's proven to do good work with young quarterbacks. So it was a lot for Gerard Mayo. He was put in a position to basically, he was never a coordinator. I think it was overwhelming and he thought he could handle it, but I think he needed more time. And it is
yeah,
what it is. Vrabel is ready for prime time and we're going to find out.
yeah, definitely. The
So,
the tell me something. I can't remember, but let's go back to the old neighborhood, right?
mhm.
Mom and dad, mom and dad tell you, "All right, Lee, y'all staying in the house, and you got to stay in the house while everybody's outside at Monty's playing basketball."
Look out the window right there, man, over the top.
Now, um, talk about that experience, right? Just looking out that window, you see everybody out there. The population was a whole lot larger
Oh, yeah.
than it
The
is
whole
now.
wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of tough for them to really keep us in the house when you had the whole wall in the park right in front. I used to joke that I was in charge of letting people out of the entrance of the park because I was like, look at I was right there, man. They want to sit on the porch and everything. But yeah, I mean, shoot, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, there was times I had to definitely stay in, but I mean, even then, I remember like it was a funny story is I used to tell my mother, "Oh, Gary Korea, Eva's mother, they got a bell. And she
Mm-hmm.
used to ring the, did you know that? She used to ring the
No.
bell outside the window. Ding, ding, ding. Me and Gary be playing with army trucks and U-Haul and Allen or whatever. We used to play in the back and everything. And so I said, "Man, Gary's got a bell." And when she rings the bell, that's when he's just got to go. I got to go. And he'd be like, "I got to go." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, you got to go," and everything. And so after a while, my mother said, yeah, she said, "And when you hear that bell, we don't need a bell. You hear that bell, you belong home too."
Yeah, exactly. Get home. Um, the it was it just a wonderful neighborhood, and I keep trying to get people to kind of do shows, do a documentary on the Bay Village, and
Hmm.
I mean we have all parts of the city of New Bedford that can do very similar stories, especially in the housing projects. We had quite a few in the city, but
Oh yeah.
they all have similar stories, and those stories would be amazing if we could just get people to stop being camera shy and just, talk about it. Um,
Hey, you and I are shy, but we're doing okay.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. The
No, it was funny as an entertainer, especially like out here. I was doing this show at G Willikers. That was the name of the club. I was getting over 100 people weekly, and a lot of people. I was doing stand up comedy too, so I started getting into that. And I used to introduce the comedians for the. I was the MC introduced for the LA comedy circuit and out of Boston comedy circuit. And those guys, when I was doing my karaoke and singing all the time, and being there, they used to say, "Oh man, you stay up there longer, do like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of monologue." I'm like, "I can't do it, man." I said, "You got the
mhm,
wrong person." I said, "You guys just know this material." And
mhm.
they said, "Well, that but the crowd responds to you and you talk to a crowd, you could just sing at any point
Yeah.
and go into a song." And so what happened was one guy really talked me into it so much. He says, "Listen," he goes, "go out and buy Star Magazine, the all those tabloids." And he says, "Just read 3 or 4 of them a week." He goes, "And then when you start talking to the crowd, because I normally would come in, turn on the mic, walk around the club, grab my cocktail and everything before I started the show, greet people." And he had said, when you're doing that, he goes, just get an idea of what people he goes, then you get up there on the mic when you're starting the show, just ask them, "Hey, did you see that article where they had found a cow that was on the moon?" Something stupid like that.
Mhm.
And he said, when people respond and talk about it, he says they're already doing it for you. He goes, you just jump on their subject, make light of it or whatever. And I started doing that more and more and more. And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't really have to know." He goes, "Let the crowd dictate what you're going to talk about." He goes, "And if it gets a little still," he goes, "you stop going to the next act or start singing." And I really was getting into it. And then the club ended up closing. So, and it closed down in 2005. But I mean, I
Mm.
still got my GJ business, but I had my weekly show there for quite a while, for a number
Yeah.
of years. So,
Awesome.
but yeah,
So,
so what was I gonna say? When you mentioned Bay Village in back in the day too, I forgot one of the things that was kind of crazy when I went there, Cape Verde, reminded me of the Bay Village in my house, which went back to where your mother lived.
mhm.
But all the clotheslines back in the day we used to have, everything down there is you wash your clothes in the machine, but you're putting them on the clothesline. And
Yeah.
every morning I started to get up. At first I was like, "Oh man, no dryer, no dryer, I'm spoiled."
Mhm.
And then I'm like, "Wait a minute. This was nice." I'd get up in the morning, I go put the clothes out, and I'm on top of a roof. So like, and it's not a real like one, almost 2 story, where I was staying like a bed and breakfast kind of place. And
Yeah.
then right next door, every morning I could hear the kindergarten kids. They're teaching them how to sing Caesarea songs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I could hear that just sounded all the joy of the young people. Just even walking the streets. I don't care how poor you were. Like they don't expect tips
No.
at all. They're not looking for tips when you're going to restaurants. And like I was telling Barbara Lee's girl, I said, even when I went to San Antone, up in like the mountains and stuff,
Hmm.
where the people living and look like Gilligan's Islands huts and stuff like that kind of stuff. But waving at the kids and the people there on the street, they're all waving. It's just like they were just so happy to see us. It
Yeah.
was like the joy in everyone's face. And I said, "Well, this is pretty incredible. Whether they have nothing at all, they always had a big smile on their face still."
So true.
And I thought that was amazing. I'll tell you
Um,
what, it changed my whole attitude from the first couple of days I got there. And then I did. And then I did. I went out and mingled, and people told me, "Oh, be careful, man. Be careful when you're money or when you're you don't know these people that you're going out on the street with." And I'm like, well, you know what? That's how I grew up, so that's what I'm gonna do, man.
yeah.
And I met people that panhandling out on the street and selling stuff for pennies, and I remember their names, and we became friends. And I made sure I visited them on my way out before I left.
It's it's amazing how like you said, they don't some don't have much, right? But they're still smiling, still trying to greet you, still trying to be a great representation of their people, their island, and
Correct.
and that goes a long way. I like the story you told me about the little young man, the young kid,
They
and
would follow me around. Yeah.
yeah, that's good. My son-in-law, he's always telling me different stories and him growing up and some of the things, and I just love to hear those stories. And the only reason why I say I love to hear those stories is because from the aunts, uncles, great aunts, great uncles, they didn't share those stories with us kids, right? I mean, growing up. And I wish they did share a lot of the stories, especially going back as far as Cape Verde. But then again, there wasn't a lot of them that were around that were born there. I had yeah, I had a lot of great uncles and aunts, but sharing those stories, it was just didn't have them. So when people would tell me stories from you and everybody else, I stay glued into it. Like to me, it's a history channel, and I gotta listen to it. I gotta absorb it so I can pass it on to my kids. So
I think a lot of that had to do with when they were coming over here. The first thing that was on their mind is, we're out of this country. We got to be Americanized. We got
mhm.
to forget a lot of this behind us. Now, you're an American. You go to school. You're going to speak English. You're not going to be speaking Creole. I mean, you
Yeah,
spoke Creole sometimes at home, but some of the families were flat out, you pay attention to, and you're speaking English. Now you're in this country. And I get all that. When times have changed, but now it's like, when you go and you find out, like, even in the Cape Verde Islands, one of the things I found out, which I didn't know, is you got more Cape Verdeans abroad here than the 600,000 Cape Verdeans that are on the islands total.
yeah.
And that was something I never really thought about. So
Mhm.
they're loving the fact that people are coming back and visiting, and like Pauline and my cousin Patricia Humanitarian and everybody else, and Eddie Esteves and his project of bringing playscape stuff and getting that out there. And like I was telling you, I'm watching them play on the beach throwing the soccer ball like a football. And these
Mhm.
incredible acts. And I'm like, I told someone in Pauline's family, I said, I'm coming back with a suitcase of footballs. They clearly would love to throw a football.
Yeah.
So it's just about resources and stuff. So yeah, again, it's an amazing trip. And until you go there, I only went to 2 islands, or three. I stopped in Seoul, but that was just for overnight. But I can't wait to go back. I want to go to Sunny Cloud. I really, ideally, I'd like to go to all the islands. The main thing to remember to a lot of people, well, it's so expensive. It is expensive. Any place from right now seems like, I don't know, maybe 1,200 up to, I don't know if it's less than that. We paid about 2,000 per ticket, 2,100. You got to remember, if I wasn't spending just to spend because I was on vacation,
Mhm.
I could have probably made a buy on $500 for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No problem. I mean, you can take a cab almost every place for $2, $1.50. I got a haircut for $2. I had a full course meal with a beer, water, salad, fries, and a nice big tuna grinder, and it was like $7.
Hmm.
I'm like, it was so yeah. Food goes a long way.
So how
You
do
know,
you do the exchange out there with money, U.S. currency? Do you
um,
pass that, or
the
do
SQ
you?
though
All
is
right,
their
okay.
own currency.
So that's what you do. You end up trading it when you get there, and
Yeah, you don't have to try to do anything before. Then some people are going over with euros. You don't need to. You can in any of the airports once you get out of Portugal over to there, you can just go to the ATM and just tell your bank ahead of time. This would be my advice. I didn't have any issues, but I was able to switch over to get escudos and like and the value of the dollar was a little bit better now than it was. I think when my wife was there in April.
mhm.
So yeah, money goes a long way there. And
Good, good. The I I'm always trying to do something, and you talked about music. Just we talked about music just a little while ago, and I've been doing some songwriting, and basically, you know, when you I have a lot of creativity when it comes to poetry, so I just wanted to do something new with the and try songwriting. So
well, that'd be nice.
and it's going pretty good. I put out a debut album out there with all the songs I wrote, and through the use of AI, which will
Hmm.
create the music and the vocals, but all the
Correct.
words and the lyrics are mine, and it went pretty good. I like doing that project. I'm actually going to start on another one this weekend. An R&B music,
Mhm.
R&B album. The But this fresh one, this debut one, it is titled "Blues from the Teak Room." Now,
Ah,
you want to share a story about the Teak Room, if you can?
yeah.
And
I used to sing there with my band. In
mm,
fact, I sang there when Christmas. You know how they used to do the Christmas parties every year, and you get presents to go home.
mhm,
You remember that? We couldn't
yeah,
wait to get a present. They always had a toy for everybody in that closet, man. You had some kind of game, but I just remember, Larry Rose, my
yes,
cousin. He's my cousin. Yeah, I remember not that long, a few years ago, when I was out at someone's house at a party in the summer, and I sang there, and he turned around and he told me, he goes, Lee, he goes, remember the teak room? I said, well,
mhm.
yeah. He goes, you were our Michael Jackson for New Bedford back in the day, you know. And I said, well, I didn't know about all that. He goes, well, yeah, well, you sang at Roosevelt. I sang Ben. A lot of people may remember that, but it was just kind of funny having a band at that age. And I'm looking now, I'm like, yeah, we were like 12, and we had the full band, man, dancing up on
Yeah,
the stage, and I had tap dance shoes, and it'd be doing splits and everything. Me and Alan Montero, it's crazy.
mhm.
So when I would
So
just hit up Alan Montero, ask him, so I heard you used to be in a band and you were a lead singer too.
I
Well, me and him were the two singers, period.
I guarantee you, I will see Alan probably within the next week or two. Right? We always see each other, and that's gonna be the right after I, dap him up, give him a hug, and that's gonna be the first question that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Tell him to sing Mickey's a Monkey.
All right, I will. Um,
I
hey,
heard
good.
another guy who's a hero. Basically, he did some really good work with this New Bedford train, right? Coming to New Bedford.
Yep.
Now they just had the grand opening, right?
Yes, they did. Just
I
a
saw
couple of
something
days
the other
ago.
day. I didn't know. I thought it had opened up before a couple months, but it was
24th. That's when it came, and
saw the train, ding, 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 and everybody going crazy.
yeah. So hey, you got a neighbor of ours, Kenny Brittle.
Oh, Kenny Brittle. Oh, he's on there.
Yeah, he's saying hello. He said hello, gentlemen.
Hey, I remember when he came home from the hospital into my house. I believe my mother was his godmother, but and Francis and so he came uh to my house at 211 Cushion in front of the park, and
Yep.
they put him on the table. It was the first time I'm like, man, put some clothes on this baby. Yeah, the Cape Verde is like that. It's the baby. He's stark naked. Throw him out on the table.
Uh-huh.
Everybody got to look at
Yeah.
him. I
Actually,
was little. I don't know how old I was, but yeah,
that's
yeah.
weird that you
So
talk
yeah, we're
about
real
that.
close.
You tell that story, right? And so my uncle Bobby had told me a story about um a small child in our family that ended up, you know, passing away. But initially, that was the first thing he remembers seeing her on the table, and just like you just explained it, and but they love their children, it was something to see. So Paul Parrish, another neighborhood dude, he says, "Oh my God, I was late for this one." Yeah, you was late, Paul, but you know what? It's all good. The one thing about Lee and I, we're always gonna do a podcast or two, and so I can't wait to do another one. But we're not finished with this one.
No, no, we're gonna have to just start working on some projects and together.
Yeah,
Um, and anyone else who wants to help us keep it going.
yeah. Paul Parrish says, "Don't get Kenny laughing,"
We're not
and
laughing. He needs to put clothes on. I
Kenny responds. He said, "Yes, your mother was indeed my godmother." Yeah,
thought so.
yeah. It's my man Kenny, definitely 5 stars. Love that dude. Um, I truly loved having his dad on my podcast and Lee
Yeah,
and
yeah.
talking about so many things. I wish I can do a nice story and book on Lee, and it'd just be amazing. His stories are endless, and I truly appreciate my mentor, my friend Lee Charlton, and
Oh yeah.
Kenny the Streaker, man. You know what? We used to have a couple of guys dancing in the city of New Bedford. I'm not gonna mention no names, but you know what, Kenny? If I knew you was a stripper, man, I could have set you up with that young group. You could have went on stage with their dad bod and everything. You could have been making some money with the young dudes. Um,
Well, he's probably only a month old. If that.
uh, Paul Paris's roundtable podcast at the vets. Yeah, that would be great. You know.
Well, that would be cool. So yeah, and I definitely want to do some type of cooking demonstration or something.
Mm,
I never made goufon ever, but I was never a fan of goufon. I like brignola, and a
mhm.
lot of people tell me they don't know what brignola is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I'll have to go ahead and make that.
It's like I said, we definitely can get a kitchen, and actually remember
Maybe
the
we could do some.
video
Go ahead.
remember
I'm sorry.
remember the video of Wayne Reese, and he was cooking, and he was in a kitchen, he was doing a nice little show. That's the place I'm talking about. So
Okay. Yeah,
if
yeah. You
you've
said that.
seen that
Yeah.
video, that would be the place. So
I mean, yeah. We could do a hands-on couscous in a little group of 5, 6 people making. We got to get the stuff and people that want to make it. Just for instance, I'm just popping up with stuff. I get a lot of questions on couscous for some reason. I get a lot of questions on a lot of stuff that I make. But my whole thing with cooking, anyways, is cooking under pressure with Lee, and that's all about trying to make meals really fast that you would only do on the weekends as a Cape Verdean culture. Then you usually cook 2 or 3 meals and spread them out for the week because the mom and dad would have a busy schedule back then. So when I'm doing it, I'm just trying to come up with stuff that, yeah, you know what? Let's see if we can make this in 1 hour instead of 3. That
yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
So yeah, I know. I just like that kind of a challenge, and I just like to have fun with it.
Hmm.
So I'm sure we could do some stuff, or even like that round table that he's talking about. Lee needs to replace Wayne on the CV recipes page.
Yeah.
Um,
We and the thing is, I don't know who has control of
oh,
that page now.
you got to tell me what's required of me. Like I said, I need a camera person. Wayne was good at putting his. I get in trouble because I don't always I don't write all the recipes down. Sometimes most of the stuff I'm just winging it, or I just know them in my head. But I need to write out more stuff because I get a lot of requests for recipes. I got one the other day, and I got to send it out to somebody.
Yeah, you use use Microsoft Word when you kind of have that your laptop out and you're kind of cooking and in the kitchen and everything. Let Microsoft Word, like, you can take that audio and put it in there, but
And
how you have to be signed on through the laptop,
right, right,
and
yeah.
you let the audio go, and it's gonna transcribe everything that you said.
Hmm.
And when that will probably help you out with the format of your recipes already being laid out,
Right,
and
right.
and then you'll be good. The Pauline says, God rest his soul. Um, Let me see. He's talking about Wayne, I believe. Right. It says,
Oh yeah,
God rest his soul, and we were in Cabo
yeah,
Verde
yeah. That's
in the
right. We were.
past.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard. And I had just reached out to him maybe just a week before, so I was kind of shocked because I know when he had said, "Please pray for me," blah blah blah, this and that, and me and Pauline talked about some of what was going on, and she was concerned, and then I was, but I didn't expect that. I was like, "Oh," it just
Yeah.
hit me.
Yeah.
I was
I
like, "Oh
think
wow."
it caught us all off guard, especially he went to the hospital and then, to get checked out. And then,
Hi, Lane Gomes.
yeah, Elaine, beautiful soul. Love Elaine. Pretty smile. She's definitely, she definitely makes people smile. That energy
Oh,
she
yeah.
has. I still got that video, her and Pauline dancing down at Cisco's.
Already? Yeah.
Yeah, I still got that. They were dancing down there and trying to
Well, I'll
start
tell you
the
what.
party off.
She probably dancing at night because she doesn't ever go to bed. She likes to hang up late. I'll be on there. I'll wake up and do something on message. And I'll say, "Oh," and I see she's in the green, and then she might say something, and it's kind of funny. I'm like, she don't sleep, man. She's just as bad as me.
Hmm.
But
Chef
that's okay. It's
Lee,
great seeing her on there.
I want to introduce you to a friend there in the comment section, Katrina Gay, who is another chef. She's she
Down south?
Katrina right there.
Is she from down south?
No, she's kind of, was it Virginia area, I believe it is. Um,
Didn't she was on one time, or she came on
yeah,
my show when you were talking,
she was
and
on
she
the
said
show.
she said she needed to put up more content too, if she's the same
Hmm.
one.
Yes,
Hi,
yep,
Katrina. If you're the same person,
yeah,
hopefully
that's
it's all working. You probably got more up than I got up there. I think I did one more thing,
hmm
but
she's
I got to get busy and I want to.
amazing, amazing girl.
And
Um,
follow. I am interested. If you guys need for me to do any work, I'll see how I can help out with Wayne Reese's page there.
yes. Let's see. Pauline, Elaine saying top.
What's she saying?
He says, "Stop telling my secrets."
She go. She likes to nick. She gave me a nickname. She calls me Liling.
Ling, we used to call my brother Kevin Ling Ling. Oh, that's crazy. That's funny. That is funny. And Katrina's from Virginia, and yep, she's the vegan chef. She wants to say hello.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yep,
Don't
and
leave. Don't Katrina. Don't leave that kettle top open. I might drop in there a piece of linguiça or something.
you know what? Hey, like that's the. I mean, I don't know, man. That's one thing I can't get rid of is linguiça. That is just a go-to for me. It's crazy.
I cook some vegan dishes now that I thought I never would. I was always been a meat person, but I don't have any issue with it. I like it if you can make it taste good and don't have the meats because you always get this conception. I mean, perception that you got to put meat in certain things, but oh, you got pasta fazool, all kinds of nice dishes
Yeah,
that I make
Katrina.
that don't have meat.
Katrina said you'll be fighting. Butchie mentioned about the chicken soup he loved, which is He says, "I love that chicken soup you posted the other day. I believe it looks amazing." Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That was me doing. I like chicken noodle soup as a kid, and then as I got older, I'm like, you know what? Most of the chicken soups I eat don't have a lot of flavor
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me. So I mean, but because I didn't know how to make them right, and then I just came up with an idea on how to make um what I call summer squash chicken noodle soup, and I made it, gave it to my neighbors because I always feed the neighborhood. They probably think I'm crazy because they're not used to that.
Mhm.
Well, they know me by now. I cook for the neighborhood, and so yeah, it's a really good recipe. I call it chicken noodle summer squash chicken noodle soup, and it's got summer squash zucchini. It's got cannellini, the white kidney beans in it. It has red onion in it, and it has the super sweet corn, like um, is also in there. And it's the combination of flavors works well. And yeah,
Good.
to make it again. So, Butch, let's make it at your house when I come to New Bedford if you want.
Yeah.
Show you how to make it. You got to make sure that I get a little bit though.
He's a Bay Village kid, man. He might not save you anything.
All right, Katrina. I see
Yeah.
all
Good
those
night.
dishes that Stephen Ford is bringing over to me. He's got all these styrofoam plates of food and they're
Mhm.
posting it. And I'm like, man, I said, mine's not even done yet. And I got to be drooling over this now. And so
That's right.
they're treating you good, Butch.
Yeah. Steven, another OG. My man. He's another good dude, man. Miss
Absolutely.
miss his mom, man. I really do. Um, she used to pinch my cheeks, and she's just adorable. Great woman.
Hope. So you got
Another.
your cheeks pinched because you probably was a cute kid. I got my cheeks pinched in the store when I did something wrong. And my mother said, come on over here. Because you ain't going to
Mhm.
beat your kids in the store, but you grab you by the cheek and just come on me.
Mhm. Hey, is a comment
Hey,
on
what's up, Todd? Man,
yeah.
I ain't seen Todd Reese in so long.
So proud of
Good
him,
to see
man.
you.
There's an instant smiles, man, when I see the stuff he's doing, and I'm so
Nice.
proud, so proud. I mean, my first thing with Todd was just amazing watching him play ball on the court, in the gyms, and was just definitely that point guard that I was hoping I could be. But Todd was a great dude, and he's making me proud every single year with his projects, and amazing, amazing, amazing artist, and so proud of you. And Kenny
Nice.
says Todd is your
Congratulations.
cameraman. Yeah, Kenny says Todd will be your cameraman. Could you imagine that? You know.
Yeah, I wish him or what's his name? Oh, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? I don't know
Uh,
where I'm getting. I was getting a text that got nowhere. I'm sorry.
all right. So, um, let's see. It says I just sent Lee an invite to become a group administrator. Paul Paul Paris send you one for that's for the Cape Verdean recipes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The All right, Lee. Well, I mean, we've been on.
I think we've been on over an hour, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So
It's so funny because I said, oh, geez, I said, we didn't really sit down and talk about what subject exactly we're going to talk about. I said, boy, I hope I get, I hope I know what to say. And everybody's saying, man, you don't ever stop talking. Of course you know what to say.
yeah. you we just got to be ourselves, and everything works out and it becomes a great podcast. Just this conversation um is something definitely that I appreciate. I'm gonna reflect on this. I'll share it to the Bay Village page. It'll be on there. Um, and this is good, and most of my
Yeah.
podcasts is 500 to 1,000 people that view it. So, that's good, you know.
hmm Yeah, I definitely appreciate being on. I'm ready to come on anytime. And again, I guess you'll be having, my wife says she'll be touching base with you in April. They wanted to get a few things done and organized with what they're doing out there before she got on here and spoke.
I totally I totally can't wait. I truly would love that. And and then after her, the next one in line is Dr. Andre. Got to get her on there.
Oh yeah.
For so many years, I've heard so amazing things about her, and
Hmm.
but she's another one that is a huge demand of what she's doing, and
Outstanding
so
work.
I
Yes.
gotta I gotta grab her like on a maybe a Sunday morning and just kind of do the podcast and then go from there. So Kenny, thank you very much. I gotta call you soon. I'll probably call you or text you tomorrow. Just want to update on things on Pleasant Street, and so I'll reach out to you tomorrow. Lee, thank you. Please, strike up, get a video together.
I'll get
Facebook
something together.
Live.
I think I'm coming
Um,
down to New Bedford this weekend just by chance.
oh, okay, cool.
I might have to visit Jean's seafood over there.
Yeah, well, it's a whole lot different, man. So,
Yeah.
you know, if it's good having it when you didn't have it for a while, but
Yeah, no. It's not quite the same.
little not the same. But I'm not gonna knock it because I'm still there. I still go
No,
there
I know. I know.
once a month. I'm still doing the thing. Few other places that I like going. One thing if y'all looking for food, try the Lighthouse Tavern right on Brock Avenue. The guy in charge of the kitchen, the manager is my son-in-law Valdi Korea.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nope, right
No.
across from Hazelwood Park on Brock
Oh,
Avenue.
oh, oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, okay, Brock. Yeah. Oh,
Where
over
where
there.
where
Okay.
where the old Belmont was.
You're right. Okay. And
And
Lighthouse Kitchen
Lighthouse Tavern.
Tavern. Okay. I'll
Yep,
definitely check that out. I'm gonna have to drive by there this weekend
you will.
if I have time.
Definitely, you know, it's. I mean, you got seafood there.
Hmm.
Sometimes specials. There's special seafood. So the food is great. You'll definitely enjoy it.
Cool.
Um. All right, my friend,
Thank
my
you.
my family. I love you. Keep up the
Well,
good
man.
work, and you need me, just holler, give me a text, whatever, and
All right, man. I'm again, I'm just, I'm way out here in Connecticut. So when I see everybody's name that pops up there, man, I'm like, it just feels so good to see all my people too. So I love
uh,
you all.
I
And
love you
thanks
too,
again.
man. All right, and I'll definitely we'll definitely see if I don't see you this weekend. I definitely will see you in July when you
Okay, man. I'll
open
be
your
in touch.
opened your house to some friends of yours.
Well,
I
of
would
course,
definitely be there.
absolutely. Well, I'd like to see you before then. Maybe we can run over to the vets, grab a cocktail or something.
Yeah,
Have a beer.
whatever you
So
need.
I'll talk to you soon then. Thanks again.
All right, brother. Take care. God
All right, have a
bless.
good night. Bye bye.
You too. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me, man. Those fabulous comments, man. I really appreciate it. Mike Mayo, I see you on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. Um, then I appreciate it. This is what it's about. This is what this podcast is about, to give people their flowers while they are standing. And Chef Lee Rocha definitely deserves it. And there's many more out there. There's many more. We have mentioned Wayne Reese, Wayne Reese and all his cooking. May he rest in peace. We talked about Pauline Rocha, and the things that she's doing is with the medical field, and for here in the States and there in Cabo Verde, she's doing some great things. So, but she will be on soon, and I can't not wait. Phil McDonald, I see you, man. Evening, good evening. Bernice, Mrs. Bernice Livermental, the historian of the South End of New Bedford. Love you, love you. You're a blessing. All right. Good night, Kenny. I see you. Thank you. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock here on the Really Charlie podcast. Um, have some maybes on as far as the guest list for this next coming month. Um, and but I'm here every week, every single week. I'm gonna be here to give you a show. And I'm also on Fentanyl Facts and Stories on Monday with Paula Santos Young, where we talk about fentanyl and bring some people in to tell their stories and their tragic stories at that, you know. And last, I'm also co-hosting with Berto Carter, Derek Demers on Frequency Live Sundays on WNB1 Radio here and here, Facebook Live. So I'm staying busy. Wish I can podcast every single day, but I stay busy, stay frequent, and each of the shows I'm involved in, we're definitely trying to highlight things. And just like you see that logo above my head, WNB1 Radio, 262 Union Street, New Bedford, Mass. The station is doing many things. They have podcasts from Luxury Tax to Straight to the Point to Mags in the Morning with B Mags and J9. You know, they're doing their thing every single morning. Add WNB1 Radio to your devices, Apple or Android, and go to WNB1. You see it right there in the logo. Spell it out just like that, WNB1.com. And see all the different things from the record club, where artists can go in there and you basically just sing live in that record room. You get a recording of yourself. Just amazing thing. It was a great brainstorm. I remember when it was at its infancy, and I said, wow, that's going to be great. I was talking to Margarita Graham and just said that's going to be a great idea. And look, it's done. And great things. So let me see. No shows on WNB1 other than Mags in the Morning. On Thursday there will be Straight to the Point Sports Talk, and that's Stephen Lopes, Derek Consatio, and B Mags will be back. They'll be back in the saddle this Thursday. Don't forget, join them at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Time, where they talk shop. There's a lot of sports to talk about. We got the bracket. We got so many things going on. Juju Watkins hurt, injured, tragedy, you know. But I hope she comes back nice and strong. And because women's basketball is great. I really truly like it, and gotta have Juju on the court. So Straight to the Point on Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8. And check it out. All right, everyone. I will see you when I see you. Hopefully it is this week. Oh nope, I won't be on Frequency Live this week. But there will be a show. And all right. Until the next time, I'm gonna end this podcast with my favorite song, and my new song. Is you've seen the new intro. I have to kind of change it up, man, because I'm getting tagged all over the place. So I got to change up the intro song, or I'm going to be suffering some penalties. So, all right, everyone. I will see you. Take care. God bless, and talk to you later.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast.